I'm John from thebdabber.com, and today I'm going to show you how I assemble a hive roof. Now the kit comes with 4 sides, 2 of which have these slots in for the vents, a bag of nails, 4 battens, a sheet of ply, it also has the grooves in, sometimes the ply comes in 2 pieces, and a tin lid. And the tools we're going to need are some glue, and I use a glue gun, a hammer, mallet, a hole punch, a square, some water and a cloth to wipe away the excess glue. We might need some pincers, a chisel, decorating scraper and a counter sinker. Other thing I use is screws to put the tin lid on, and these little screw cups. These screws are number 8 by 1 1/4 inch. The other tool you might need if you're going to screw the tin lid on rather than nail it is a power driver. The first thing I do is separate the bag of nails into the long pins, drawing pins, 2 meshes and the short pins. There are 2 types of short pin in this pack. One has got nice rounded edges and that's for the banging the lid on, and the other pins are to bang the ply onto the frame. Now I don't use the nice nails because I use screws instead. First thing I do is line up the 4 sides, and I put some glue down the inside bits. Do them all at once, saves a few seconds, and doing them one at a time. Right, so now we're going to find the 2 pieces with the slots in, and we're going to put those down, well, they need to be upwards, opposite and outwards. And then we're going to tap one of the other sides onto the castellated bits, and just tap those in with a mallet so we know they're completely in. We'll get the other side with a groove, put it opposite, upwards and outwards. Tap those in. I get 3 longer nails, 3 long nails. Just get these started for a second. Oops. Gentle tap with a hammer. Right, so a quick check with the square. I'll tap one of these in while I've got the square on. The other 2. And line up the other side with the square. Make sure everything's in nice and tight. 3 more nails. Now it should be fairly square, but we're going to square it up with when we put the marine ply on anyway, so that will make sure we are square. To get it roughly right at the moment, got to wash away that glue while it's still wet and easier to remove, and so it doesn't make a mess of the workbench when we turn it over. Right, still got our sides, our grooves opposite, upwards and outwards. Just going to do the full side. Lost my mallet, there it is. Sometimes it's good to put these in at a little bit of an angle. I'm going to continue doing this. Now don't forget there are 4 sides. I've shown you 2. So don't forget to do all 4 sides. So we're going to get our marine ply back and we're going to put the meshes in, and I'll just bring them in 1/2 millimetre. At least make sure they're not sticking out over the edge, because while we're handling it, it's going to hurt if we get caught on it. We'll put our drawing pins in. Now at the end of the video there's an alternative if you can't get the drawing pins in, using little galvanised nails. If you've got dodgy thumbs like I have. Put 4 or 5 of those in, and we're going to leave this bit because the batten's going to go across there, so we don't want drawing pins there, otherwise the batten doesn't fit flat down onto the ply. Now if you need, you can always get the drawing pin started and use the old hammer. Don't forget to do the other side. Right, next we bring our frame back in, and we've got our grooves opposite, upwards and outwards, and we're going to apply a bead of glue around the top edge of the frame. And then our meshes are going to go where the grooves of the sides are. Now I'm going to wiggle that around a little bit to smooth out the glue, and I'll check each corner, make sure we're square and kind of flush. Now I say that because the ply is a little bit bigger than the frame, so it overhangs by 1 millimetre. So when we nail, we must remember to come in a little bit from the edge. And as I say, I'm going to use a mix of nails. I don't really care because I don't use the nice ones for the outside. So I'm going to put 1 in each corner, just away from the corner, about 1 inch or 25 mil to us youngsters. That's a good start. One in each corner, make sure it's still nice and square. Right, now where the slots are, I'm just going to put a nail either side of those, and then when we get doing the rest of the nails, we'll remember to avoid those. Apart from that, I'll put 1 in the middle of the long side, another 1 in the corner, 1 inch away from the corner, a couple in the middle of those spaces, middle of that space. And then we go around the edge as in the same manner. Right, so we've nailed the ply onto the frame. Now just go around the insides and outsides and make sure no nails have come through. If they have, then we use this little countersinker and we bang the nail out with it until we can get to it with the pincers or the claw of a hammer. But this time I haven't made any such mistakes. Right, now we're going to put the battens in, so I'm going to put a bead of glue It's on the ply itself, 10mm in from the edge, roughly. I don't need to put any on the side because my screws are going to pull the batten into the side. Let me put those in. Just avoiding the grill bits. Okay, that's going to be the glue. Now we've got 4 battens. Some are nicer than others. I'll put any knots like that. Put them into the side. Right. Now sometimes these are a bit tight, so get our decorator's tool and use it as a shoe on again. It's a bit awkward to show you at this angle. That one's gone in all right. And the 4th is another bit of rough wood to get that in. Now what we're looking for here is no gaps between the batten and the ply, and in the corners it's flat across there. Now you can see that the pins we put in are nicely distant so that the batten doesn't coincide with them. Now I've got the tin lid and I put it down on some cloth because they kind of scratch fairly easily. Mark a little dot about, I don't know, kind of 8mm in from the edge of the lid. Let's call it 10. 50, 180, 320, 450. Do that on all 4 sides. Now if you're going to use nails, you're going to use the short pins I talked about earlier with the nice shiny round domes. If that's what's come in the packet, they do seem to vary. Right, put that back down flat, and now we're going to put the frame in the tin lid. Now this is where the decorating thing comes in handy sometimes, so use it as a shoe on. Make sure that's all the way down in all 4 sides, all 4 corners. Right, now I'm going to bit of something solid behind, because I'm going to bang holes now, so I need a bit of something sturdy behind the frame. Right, now we're going to bang 4 holes in each side with our hole punch. 8 or 10mm down from the edge, just to puncture through the tin. Now that 10mm down from the edge means the screw is going to come halfway up the batten, or the inside, allowing for the thickness of the ply. That's why we do that. Right, I've got my 16 screws and screw cups and my power driver. So I'm going to start screwing these in. Now my thumb on the inside is just pushing the batten right down onto the ply. A good thing about screwing them in is the screw pulls the batten back out towards the inside of the frame, so we don't have any gaps. If you do have a gap, just another half a revolution. But I rather think little nails will push the batten away rather. You know, if we haven't got a power driver, you'll need to use the nails and hammer. So there we have our 16 screws, 4 on each side. Nice flat joints, no edges there, no gaps there either, and no gaps there. That's what we're after. There we are, all the battens in, nice finish with the screws, wiping the glue away, and that's a nice job. So there's the finished article. Vents in there, and screws and screw cups looking nice. Now, as an alternative, if you can't get the drawing pins in, you can use little galvanised nails. These are 12mm, don't use any longer than that. And so that you don't bang your fingers, I use a pair of old cutters, or you can use some long nose pliers, but someone's borrowed mine. And then just bang them in as per the drawing pins, and we'll put 4 all round.